Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving back into the 15-star strength variation of the super boss ALBER with my 1 trillion damage team. Yes, we managed to crack 1 trillion damage with the help of a 1.2 times multiplier, of course. But this is the team that actually managed to get it done. Now, obviously, with all of the New Year's Legends, having them at level 5, being very blessed with pulls, and spending some resources to get them there as well, this team actually managed to clock it out. Now, there was one problem I was having with this particular variation, and that was Quick Momo. I don't actually have Quick Momo, the regular legend, because they haven't put him on a banner since his release. He's been on part 1, and it seems like everyone else pulled him besides me, but I actually don't have the unit. He's really good for this fight, because on stage 2, there is 6 turns of Threshold. Momo removes that. He also gives 3 turns of Chain Boundary because you have 5 slashes, on top of a particular buff that allows you to stack a final tap percent multiplier. Yamato is incredible for this particular buff because she has the ability to give you that on the final stage, as well as increase it with stuff like her super swap. Whenever a striker or slasher uses a special in her dual form, she's actually going to give that buff too. Now, that particular buff doesn't revolve around the final tap limit break ability. It's the final tap of any of your units. So if you guys are unaware of how that buff works, it will work on any unit that is the final tapper for your team. Whether they have final tap limit break or not, they will still get the buff. But with Yamato, her final tap gives her 700 extra base stats on top of a additional damage depending on your damage reduction, maxing out at 2.95, I believe, depending on how much damage reduction you actually have, or 2.9, I think is the highest. So if you have a 70% damage reduction, which she can give with her Super EX, you're going to get a 2.4 times buff. This is incredible amounts of damage, and with Yamato alone, with a 1.2 times multiplier, we're cracking over 880 billion damage just with herself. Now, this particular team did clock out at 900 billion without any alliance boost, and look, with Momo, it possibly could crack the echelons of that, but without Momo, I was unfortunately stuck using my own anniversary Gear 5 Luffy. Now, this particular unit was actually really, really good for this team, mainly because he's a Luffy unit, so he substitutes having your second Yamato, plus he gives additional damage taken and a chain boundary. So 2 things that the Yamato and the Momo would be doing if I was using them on my own team. So with this unit, I could actually gain the extra additional buff from Yamato, as well as a chain boundary because I already had an attack boost. On top of that, because it's Luffy, it triggers the super tandem of Zoro and Sanji a little bit earlier, allowing them to hit a little bit harder. They're so good because they turn everyone into free spirit slashes. It means you get more final tap buff for Yamato, you get a massive chain multiplier with this unit too, and they're hitting pretty hard themselves. So that's why I have the Viola support for base stats. Just makes the unit hit ridiculously hard. Kinemon, he's fantastic for stage 2. If you guys are running this content, you'll understand why Kinemon is so key. He extends the color affinity and the attack boost, so that way you're not affected by the intimidation buff. And when you use Roger and Odin as your friend captain, you're going to blow away the grifters, as well as extend that attack boost and then the Yamato color affinity. The final unit on the team, and the reason why I'm not using my own Roger and Odin, is because I'm using Odin and Toki. Now, Odin and Toki are very interesting because on turn 1, you can actually get their super swap. And getting their super swap will give you a 2.5 times orb boost to your slasher characters. Not only that, but you get adjacent orbs to tandem, which means that your Roger and Odin and your Kinemon will both have a tandem orb. This allows you to get over 10 million damage on turn 1, so that way you get the 3-turn orb boost of Roger and Odin. And they give a tandem orb to the unit underneath them, which is actually Luffy. Luffy getting a tandem orb on turn 1 means that he is going to keep that tandem orb throughout the entire run, so that way we can access the super tandem on the final stage. Friend captain, level 5 Roger and Odin, pretty self-explanatory there, but you're probably looking at this team and thinking, Stump, how are you getting through the threshold? Well, you guys will have to wait and see when we get to that part of the video. Alright, so here we go. We are over here on the actual events. We have a friend captain, Roger and Odin, which ironically is mine. At level 120, the level doesn't really matter all that much. It's just more about having the rush maxed out. Having Kinemon and Odin and Toki is going to allow you to get the most amount of damage. Now, this was like my very first recording of getting the 999, whatever that number is. So I obviously swapped the positioning of Kinemon and Luffy. Like, that became very, very important. Mainly because that way Kinemon then gets the base stats on the final stage as well. But as you guys see there, I am switching with Odin and Toki on turn 1. That gives me the orbs on my Kinemon and my Roger and Odin. Allows me to get 10 million damage moving into this stage against Who's Who. Now against Who's Who, he has the 6 turns of Threshold, which is very, very annoying, and this is what makes Momo so good. But we are going to have to carry over that color affinity and the attack boost from Roger and Odin and Yamato. So super swap with Yamato first. That allows you to start building up that final tap mechanic. Roger and Odin are going to kill all the grifters because they only have 1.5 million HP. And then Kinemon is going to carry over the color affinity and the attack boost. With this as well now, you are going to have access to the super tandem because you'll have a tandem orb on your Kinemon, not your Luffy. Luffy will be in the other spot. And then what you can actually do is you can tap away, get the super tandem, and you can actually tap straight through that very, very pesky threshold. Yes, you don't even need to remove the threshold. And this revelation, thank you to whoever posted it in the comment section of one of my other videos, allowed me to build out this particular team so I could hit the crazy echelons of 1 trillion damage. On the final stage, there is Red Haki, so Roger and Odin take care of that. They're a fantastic character, so that way you can carry buffs into the final stage. There's 6 turns of damage reduction and 100% resistance to everything that isn't Free Spirit and Slashes. Also, you have to deal with an Intimidation for your attack, orbs, and color affinity, so carrying those 3 buffs into this stage is definitely the way to go. Using the Super EX of Roger and Odin, we get 2,000 base stats to our Yamato. Hitting at level 5 final tap means she's hitting very, very, very hard. She has 2 times stats as well, because she's a boosted character, and she's just going to absolutely obliterate poor old ALBER. She's also going to remove the damage reduction, but before we do that, we want to make sure that we turn everyone into Free Spirit and Slashes. So super swapping with Zoro Sanji allows us to get full border tandem orbs. You use their special to increase the attack and orb boost by 0.5. You turn everyone into Free Spirit Slashes, and you get that chain shenanigans. That's going to allow Luffy to then go into the final tap, apply the additional damage taken, and give us the chain boundary. That way you can use Yamato to increase it, give yourself an increased color affinity as well, which is very, very nice. And then finally, you can wrap it up with Odin and Toki, who not only give you a very nice heal, but they also give you 50% slasher resistance, and that's a really, really good reason why they're here, because resistance has become a disgustingly strong buff for these particular fights, because we can't use conditional boosts. Using Roger and Odin, and their rush, we can actually break through the barrier with all of the extra taps, so we don't have to worry about the 24 tap barrier, and then we can start tapping our way through. Now, as you guys have probably noticed, we're not doing all that much damage. However, once Zoro and Sanji pop off that beautiful super tandem and make all of our orbs at 2.75 times multiplier and give us an extra 2.5 times attack, we sit at a nice chunky 13.9 chain, and Yamato getting that 2.4 extra damage multiplier with her final tap means that she can hit 840 billion, which like I said, I've increased to about 888 now that she's level 150 and all that fun stuff. I tried so hard to get her to the trillion with the 1.1, but alas, this is the final result. I hope you guys enjoyed the video anyway. Make sure to go down there, belt like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you guys enjoyed Super Boss Kazuna. It's always a lot of fun. But I'll catch you all in the next one. Late!